is going to be, we're going to be talking in here for a few minutes, and then there will be a tour of the facilities. It'll be pretty brief. We don't have a lot of time, actually. So just to start, has anyone here ever considered becoming a pilot? Can I see a show of hands? Great, excellent. Nice to hear. Definitely the romantic aspect of aviation has inspired many young people to begin flying. As you can see from my picture up here, getting involved in aviation doesn't mean one thing. It could mean many different types of flying: airline, fire suppression, military, aerobatics, bush flying. And of course, all of these different types of flying have their ups and downs. So historically, aviation has been very male-dominated, but there have been a few exceptions throughout the past century. Amelia Earhart is a name I'm sure you all know, as well as Beryl Markham and some others. However, the number of women in aviation is certainly on the rise. In our professional pilot program here at Selkirk College, we have the highest percentage of female students in the first year than ever since the beginning of the program, which is in 1969. 25% of our first year students are females. So that's pretty exciting. And in fact, I am one of the graduates of this program 6.5 years ago. I was always interested in aviation as a young child, but I didn't think it was a suitable profession for a woman. All of the movies that I saw, the pilots were all men. So, but I really thought that flying would be a great job because I'm passionate about traveling, and it was a cool idea to have an office thousands of feet in the air with a fantastic view. But I wasn't ready for that. Instead, I went to university and I traveled for a year. And then I met my first female aviator. And at that point, I knew what I wanted to do with my career. I started my flying training in the Lower Mainland by going to a local flight school and taking an intro lesson. And that's just a half-hour lesson where you fly in a small airplane alongside the instructor. So you each have a set of controls and you actually get to fly and just see what it's like. So after that flight, which was amazing, I was definitely hooked. And so after I got my private pilot's license through that school, I came to the Selkirk College program, where I completed a pretty intensive 2-year program which gave me my commercial pilot's license, my multi-engine rating, and my instrument rating. And so this 2.5-year time frame for my training is very standard. Between 2 and 5 years is fairly typical, depending on the type of flying that you want to do. After I graduated from the program, I knew that I wanted to instruct, but I was also open to all other types of flying as well. And so, in fact, my first job was fueling aircraft. I was a gas jockey for aviation. And I also flew for a company doing scenic flights and charter flights. So for the scenic flights, you get in the air, take a look at the glaciers, you can point out people's cabins from the air, or whatever it is your customer wants to see. And in fact, I used to ask people if they could spot the abominable snowman holding up a big blue case of Coke and beer, then I would pay for their flight. But of course, no one ever saw that. I think they enjoyed themselves nonetheless. Also, some of the other flying that I did was for survey flights. So I'd have a biologist in the plane with me, and they would count eagles' nests or plot pine beetle habitat or that sort of thing. I also did fire patrol, which, as you can guess, you go up, you look for fires. It was a very exciting part of the industry because you're saving people's homes and their lives, possibly, from forest fires. But my favorite part of flying is the charter flying. So that means you're flying from A to B. You're flying probably where most of the airlines don't fly, because you've got a passenger that wants to go to a certain location on a certain time, on their time frame. So Usually it's people that have some money. It would be a business person, possibly, or a group of skiers or something like that, tourists. And it's always just an adventure, so that's why I like that kind of fun. But I still wanted to teach, so I got my flight instructor rating, and I started, time already. Okay, I got my flight instructor rating, and I went on to instruct. And I love that because I love working with the students, and I love influencing their minds, you know, in the direction of flying. It's fantastic. And just as an answer to the question that many people ask me, no, I do not get scared often by my students. Only maybe 3 times in 4.5 years have I ever been actually scared. My education has been ongoing throughout my career. I continue doing upgrades, flight tests, type ratings, and different aviation-related courses. So that's all I have to say about me. Is there any questions about what I've just talked about, or some things that I haven't talked about related to flying, of course? Okay, no questions? Good. So what we're going to do, any buttons or anything, just take a look.